We had a golfer come in last week, and he was struggling with a steep downswing, pretty common issue. What he said, he was working on getting some depth in his backswing. Again, another very common issue with golfers. What he was doing was actually mistiming that depth that was creating his steep downswing. And what we mean by that is many of the best players in the world, they don't move their arm across until their arm gets above lead arm parallel. Now that seems kind of crazy looking at it like this, because a lot of us, probably all of us, at one point or another perceive the swing as kind of moving this way when the swing is actually moving this way combined with rotation.
Yeah.
Putter's this way, the full swing is up and down.
Yeah, so we see it a lot, and this is what this gentleman had going on, right? He was taught to bring his hands in early because he was tired of hitting a slice, right? But when he was bringing his hands in early, he had to go up late. So there's up in the swing somewhere, right? It just depends on where you're going to do it.
Whether you believe it or not, there's up in the swing.
Like if you had no up, your literally arms would
they'd be down there.
Here, right? So up late, the way he was making the motion, pitched the club laid off late. So that late flop, we call it, when you pull on that club, it makes it tumble steep. And we've talked about this before. It's like if Mike threw me a ball, I'm going to catch that weight and send it back to him. So if I'm catching the club, that club head is a weight, basically. If I catch it as it's going that way to finish, and I pull on it to send it down to the ball, it's going to tumble steep over the top, unless you put another move in there, which, again, feel free, but it's a lot harder to do.
And you hit on a point there about the arm works up. Both arms work up, but your lead arm, my left arm, does not get up just from bending my elbow. Because when you look at the best players in the world, their arm's up in here with very little elbow bend in many cases.
I can't believe we're still talking about it.
Right. But, again, it's a stationary camera with the body moving around, so it creates confusing. All these poor concepts. What you have to understand is that you take a player like Rory, his angle, and the angle we're talking about is elbow joint, center of the shoulder joint to kind of C7, so kind of the base of the neck. That doesn't close until after his arm gets above lead arm parallel to the ground, the downswing. Then you get this, which is also when the body's starting to rotate the other way, so you get that sequencing that we all want without the over the top, which is what our lesson was doing.
Yeah, you want to leave some slack in this direction so that when you change direction, the arm can have this little motion like that. Now you're turning, so the turning motion is trying to send the arm that way. You can see how that would work, right? But if I have a little slack in there, I can have this little bit of down track start to the hand path in the downswing, which helps control that motion, allows it to start downward, and then the pivoting action takes it out some. But it gets that nice little curve down to the ball like you see in good players in the hand path.
But if you eat that distance up early and then and you kind of get late lift up the arm and then start to transition and turn, there's nowhere for this to go.
No,
especially as adults where you usually have broader shoulders or thicker shoulders, thicker chest than maybe a junior golfer would have. Can maybe pull that off. But a grown male golfer with a few extra bowls of pasta in their frame is going to need that space. And you even see it with players like Rory and fit athletic players still utilizing that space.
You really see it with Rory because his pivoting action is so strong.
Yes.
He leaves a little bit in there and gets that depth a little later, and you see the club have that nice perfect sickle we always talk about. And then when he starts down, now he's caught the weight of that club head a little bit coming back towards him. Then when he adds a pivot to that, you can see how the club will shallow behind him more. And we've been preaching this for a long time. You don't need to manually shallow the club. It's a backswing motion that allows you to do that correctly. It's at this point, it's so much easier than you would think if you get the backswing right.
There's got to be up and there's in late. Up early, in late. Now, if you want to see if this applies to you, film yourself from down the line. So we'll let Shaun set up down the line. When he goes back to about lead arm parallel on the ground, look at where your glove head is. If it's way back behind your center line from this angle, you probably need more up and less in earlier.
At this point, there's a lot more rib cage rotation than people think as well.
Square up. Don't move your arms. Just square back up your chest to the camera here.
Boom.
So there's not much difference than where you were at address.
So what I would show people, just pull your arms straight into you. You can kind of see where the center of your hands are. If I was over this way too much here and pulled my hands, you can see how I'm outside. So I'll do it from this way. You can see it. So this would be where I would want my hands at this point. Just pull them straight in. I can see where that lands. If I did the wrong, I'm inward and pull the trail elbow back a little bit far here and pull my hands straight in. You can see how I would miss that critical spot here that's mid-chest.
We're all going to be shaped a little differently with shoulder width and arm length. Whatever that angle is, getting those 3 points at address, many of the best players in the world are increasing that to lead arm parallel or just shrinking it a couple degrees like we just saw you do.
Yep.
The kiss of death is when it's over early, because if you set back up to the down the line camera here, if you get that glove hand on your back line, you're going to have a heck of a time not getting steep early.
Yeah, because I mean, from here I'm ran out of room, so it's an up motion. Most golfers that do that will pitch the club blade off late and then pull.
If you're going to hit it anywhere, you're going to get them up eventually.
And even if you do happen to keep the pitch of the club kind of in a decent spot, you're so deep here that your hand path will start to work up and over. So again, to me, it's a harder way to do it.
It's a very hard way to do it, speaking from a friend's experience. So let's do your favorite drill. We both have a drill that we like to do for this that we've used in our own swings. You like to do one-handed.
Yeah, you know, we got to watch Scott Hamilton teach a lot, and he gives us a lot of good players.
A lot of golfers.
He's even got a grip with a shaft and a dumbbell.
It's a grip on a threaded, like you go to Home Depot and get those long threaded dowels that he's put like, I think 2.5 pound.
Yeah. Feels like 1,000,000 pounds.
Dumbbell weight on it. It feels super heavy, which activates the up, which is his goal.
Yeah, so it's a shorter little club with a dumbbell on the end of it, but it makes you, you know, if you just take it in one hand, it's heavy enough for most people. If I start turning, I can feel if I start doing anything, I wouldn't be able to get the club up that way.
Right.
Just the weight of it, you start to pitch the club up in front of you more this way without pulling everything across or flexing the wrist and getting the club low. So it's a really good one. You just kind of, you could even start it forward a little to get some momentum in it. And just the way the wrist bone, you just want to turn these wrist bones over each other. He's always talking about that too. Without over flexing your lead wrist. If you do that, this thing pitches up on planes so nicely.
And you want to make sure anytime you're doing one-handed drills, make sure the body is being honest in turning. Because it's easy to go one hand just around us, which is kind of defeats the purpose of the whole drill. I like to do a version of that, but I'll create a frame and try to keep that same box by the time I get the lead arm parallel. Then sometimes I'll let my arm just kind of fall across it, but I want to make sure by the time I'm getting the lead arm parallel, I would feel the difference between that and that. And if I do that and put my hand on it, I go, okay, from my point of view, that's where I need to be, not back in here.
Yeah.
And either one of those will accomplish the same goal.
Try them both. One you might kind of
it might resonate with you. You may come up with your own, but the key there is to get your up early, in late. So you can kind of create that sickle at the top plus the shallowing coming down. And you do that, you're going to hit the ball better.
To me, it's loading the backswing to allow the shallowing to occur automatic.
Yeah. And the sequence with the hips first, because you got to have some space there or it's going to throw it all off.
Yeah.
Give those two a try. Let us know in the comment section which one you like. Also, check out the first pinned comment below. We're going to have another drill in there to help you with this.